The most consistent Yamaha rider, though, in pre-season testing has been this man here, Johan Zarco, a very exciting rider, of course, in 2017. Exceeded all expectations in his rookie year in MotoGP, and currently on the... So let's not forget that Simeon has, of course, got more experience on the MotoGP bike, so Siren not doing too badly at all. Over to Repsol Honda. Marc Marquez is currently the fastest rider at this early stage in the day, setting the same pace as yesterday.
The majority of the crashes are front end here. You know, you're pushing from a high speed down to a low speed, like we said earlier, and that trail braking bit right at the end, front tuck, and it seems to have got rims a few times, Carl, and also, well, basically they all seem to be front end crashes.
Most of the time he can save those, Simon, but not today.
Yeah, yeah. No, but also it's easier to save the ones that are on the
leaderboard. He's the second only rider to break the 1 minute 30-second barrier. Over to Javi Siren, his new teammate, continuing his adaptation on the third and final day. He actually finished ahead of Xavier Simeon yesterday, the fellow rookie. His teammate, though, Dani Pedrosa, inside the top 5 at the early stages of day 3. The team are testing a new carbon swing arm on the final day. We've already seen it break cover. We're not yet to see it out on track, so we'll be keeping a keen eye on that in the latter half of the third and final day.
Sarah Valentino Rossi's crew chief saying this morning that basically Honda and Ducati right now, as was the case last year, in effect, in terms of the controlled electronics that have come in from Magneti Marelli last year, Honda and Ducati have just got their heads around what they need to extract the best out of those electronics, more than Yamaha. When Rossi gets on the throttle coming out of some of these low gear hairpins like turn 1, turn 2 and turn 12, he's just losing too much. The electronics are kicking in, there's too many cuts for anti-wheelie and traction control. That's losing crucial momentum going forward, and around a short lap like this where there is so much low gear acceleration, you can't afford to lose a thousandth, let alone a tenth. So yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done back in Iwata after what looked like a promising start. Maverick Vinales, of course, quickest when we returned from the winter break on day 1 in Malaysia, but since then it's been a pretty downhill slope, certainly for the Spanish rider, who's got a bit of head scratching going on.
A1 ring in Austria, because the straight line and also the corner, here you have 7 corners.
Actually speaking, here is more easy than in Malaysia. Malaysia was more difficult because in Malaysia the humidity is always around 90-95%. Here when you breathe you feel a little bit of oxygen. In Malaysia there. And also physically speaking, this track is less demanding, it's a bit more easy, so you can make a longer run, you can also understand a bit better, but it's 35 minutes, so not easy.
Marquez, they found a few more ponies out of the engine, a few more horsepower, because on top speed at the moment on the straights here, they are a match for Ducati. So Honda have clearly, with their engine development, taken quite a big step. Good day also for Marc Marquez. I don't know what Honda have got prepared for him later on, but I hope they've got a really big cake for him. His 25th birthday today, of course, and he has been working incredibly hard. When I came down to speak to you guys for this show, Marquez had already put in nearly 90 laps, so they're making him earn his money on his birthday, that's for sure.
Sure, he loves it. What better way to spend your birthday?
Yesterday with the scooter, I felt like, okay, it's a fast track, but today on the MotoGP, I realized that it was slower than what I expect. I mean, many second gear corners, even third gear corners, but even like this, hard accelerations, hard break points. But anyway, difficult to manage the tire life, because it's where we are working more, because it looks like have many corners that we are loading a lot.
Asphalt, and we look if it's the level of abrasion, the abrasivity. So this is for the wear.
The last thing I would like is that Honda have an advantage and they've got Marc, and you know that's not what we want. We want this good fight to continue. Like for me, last year was the best I've ever seen, you know, Grand Prix. But this is really interesting. I was watching Marc on track earlier, and I've spent a lot of time since stopping riding, spotting for riders, and I noticed how little front weight he's got. Like the bike brakes really well, but look how soft and low it is in the back. the bit, you know, you can see that rear wheel moving, and I think they're searching for grip, rear grip, and also to make the bike stop well. You know, you don't have too much front weight, you keep it a bit more on the back to so you can brake harder, you know, if that makes sense. And the more front weight you have on, you can't stop it. And I think they're...
And also the stress, the charge, the load you put on the tire. So we have a special simulator about that.
Carl is fairly brief in his assessment of what happened yesterday. He wasn't really in a talkative mood, and why would he be? Close to a second off the pace, and all kinds of problems with the M1, which he can't really at this stage put his finger on. I did an interview earlier on with his crew chief, Ramon Forcada, and they're a little bit baffled. They felt coming here, the track layout, one would suit the Yamaha and certainly suit Maverick's riding style, but it's been far from the truth. They're really struggling, mainly with edge grip, certainly through that fast turn 3. And when you get through turns 4 through to 11, Maverick, when the bike...
To try to anticipate the wear level, and also to try to anticipate the solicitation that the ground do in the tires.
Has taken a real step in terms of their engine performance. Now we know that was something that they really were working hard on back in Japan throughout the off-season. How many times have we heard Cal Crutchlow and Mark Marquez talk about the fact that they were getting hurt on corner exit? It was too much wheelie. The bike had lots and lots of horsepower, but they couldn't find a way to properly manage it. Now Honda have done something brilliant with their electronics, and what they've done crucially as well, Steve, certainly for this first couple of sectors here, it's a really long straight from turns 1 through to turn 2, and then conversely leading from turn 2 and 3. And the Honda engine, the new Honda engine, which has been picked and favoured pretty much by all three, Crutchlow, Pedrosa and...
The track is quite good. The heat is super, I mean, one of the worst I ever tested. And the track itself is quite narrow, and so the lines are important and the speed is important.
It's like kind of a hard braking circuit, you know. You have really, let's say, 3 hard braking points, but also